Live here on Giami Journey. What's going on, fam? Let me send out this black signal. Yeah, we're gonna send out the black signal. It's sent out. Okay, let's try to pull up. Let's try to pull up chat box. Cause I be missing, man. This chat box is flaky, man. It's very flaky. And that text is flaky. If anybody out there got the text about the market, let me know. I want, because it says it went out, but I didn't get it. And if I didn't get it, I wonder how many other people didn't get it. We up early today because I got divine conversations and I don't want to squeeze it in. So, I had a great day yesterday. Let's see what else is up. What am I missing? I'm missing something. Hold on. We're going to shut that down. Okay, we're going to bring this up. All right, give y'all some time to get in. All right, family, here we go. Joe Berry, what's up? Hotep, my friend, peace. Great day. Great Imani. Hey, first I want to welcome you to Giami Journey Media. I don't know, anime, I don't know what's going on with you, girl. Can you say that a little bit louder so the people can hear you? What's going on? Sound like something caught up in my phoenix throat. Once again, welcome to the Congregation Mighty. This is Giami Journey Media. That ain't right. Something going on. I think she's sick. Why you ain't loud, girl? Let's see. Everything you've been fed. Oh, I know what's wrong. Once again, welcome to the Congregation of the Mighty. This is Giami Journey Media. That's right, girl. Of course, you know this is a Heart of a Simmer production, and this is the Daily Toast. And of course, you know it's a Heart of a Simmer production. We strive to blow up your old paradigm. Let's get it. Come on, drink your water, but first, take your breath and drink some water. Take a breath and drink some water. Take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath. Drink. Or should we say, breathe, then drink. Alright, here we go. Now you know what to do. Grab your glass, get that water. Get your bottle of that water. Twist the cap off that water. Lift and pour your water. Drink. Or should we say, lift, pour, then drink. Move your body and get some water. Oh man. Move your body and get some water. Stretch your body and get some water. Move your body. Drink. say, move, move, then drink. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Just raise your glass. Drink, 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 drink. Drink, 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 drink. Take your breath and drink some water. Lift your glass and pour some water. Move your body, drink some water. Raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Breathe, live, move, drink. Or should we say, breathe, drink, eat, move. One more time. Take your breath. Live and pour. Move your body. Toast your ancestors, break down. Now we're going to try to drink it all in a minute. Almost done, family. Let's see if we can get it. Drink your water, come on. Drink, 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 drink. Let's see. Alright. Didn't make it. We almost did. Almost, but almost ain't good enough. Yesterday we did it. This morning we wasn't able to finish the water, but family, those that are new, remember, we got to stay healthy ourselves in order to toast our ancestors. So we got the 4 pillars of health. Shouts out, of course, to Joe Berry. Shouts out to Keisha. Making moves. Young Blood. Good morning to you as well. Shouts out to Brother Kwame. As usual, the Black Yoda. I seen you dancing last night, man. Oh my goodness. Yesterday was a nice day. Started off with my niece's party. Took my daughters to my niece's skating party. They got to skate a little bit. Then we had to celebrate Brother Aesop. Shouts out to Brother Aesop. Well, let me say to Jasana first, happy birthday, Miss Jasana. We're gonna get her. Daughters had a good time. So I had to end it early. We had to end it early. It was a good reason, right? I had to bring my babies home. Right? Then I had to go over to New Harvest Cafe, and we were celebrating the Sid's 84th birthday. For those that don't know, Sid is the poet laureate of Columbus. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing it for a long, long time. So they were celebrating him, so I at least had to pop my head in and listen to some poetry, because they did an open mic session. It was his 84th birthday. Actually, it was a lot of people, because Brother Carnell's birthday was last week. Who else? It was a whole bunch of people who was in the room whose birthday was. So they throw a party over, or open mic over at New Harvest to celebrate all of the Aquarius' birthday. Aquarius is some cool people, man. And then after that, Navita had her birthday party, and so I went over there, met some of the people over there, had a real good time. And man, I saw some amazing. They did a Prince trivia contest. Man, Elder Aziza showed out. Man, listen, she picked up her phone. She picked up her phone, looked at her phone for wasn't even a minute, right? Start answering questions like she had known about Prince forever. It was amazing. I mean, you got all these people, they say, you like Prince, you love Prince, or they call you a purple hippie. So you had all these people raise their hands up saying they purple hippies. Mama Ziza whooped their ass. It was, you know what I'm saying? The first 3 questions, boom. I'm like, you did all that? And I'm like, wow. What street was Prince born on? Like, what? I said, good grief. What's his favorite color? Boom. What's his favorite number? Boom. Oh my God. So yeah, it was a real good time. DJ O Sharp was in the house, turned it out as usual. Eddie Baird was there for a minute, but he had to run across the street because him and Mark Lomax was doing a show across the street. So we was at the Lincoln Cafe, and at the Lincoln Theater, Mark Lomax was doing his, I can't remember what the name of the piece is, but he got a lot of people on that. But they were sold out, man. So, I got to chill with Eddie for a brief second. Eddie needs a fan page, you know what I'm saying? So people can keep up with what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Mark Lomax code on them drums. Eddie Baird code on that sax. I don't know who else was over there playing, man. But whoever it was, they packed out the house. So we're going to give them a round of applause, too. Sister Navita's party was hot. Sid's piece was hot. Oh man, it'll come to me. But yeah, we was doing all that yesterday. So of course y'all know today, well y'all don't know. Usually I'm later in the day, but I decided this morning that I need to get up and do the show so that I could get to Divine Conversations. I wanted to go to Divine Conversations. So I said, all right, cool. So let me get up. So I pulled myself up, got up, and we're here doing the show right now. Let me check my stream to make sure that everything is straight, because y'all know that the timeline on my thing here is kind of janky. And alright, so I view more comments. Let's see. Alright, so I got 2 comments on my Facebook. Let me see what's going on here. Man, this is whack. I don't understand. This is whack. Alright. Okay, cool. So I'm going to refresh. That screen. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to pour our libations. Well, first, we're going to make us some coffee. Got that French press, y'all. Alright. So now, what I got right here, I got that coffee. And so this time I got black seed in it. So we're going to go and sip on a little bit of that. Just in case some of y'all want to conversate this morning. Open mic, whatever you want to talk about, we can go and hit it up. So, but first, let's do what we supposed to do. Let's toast these ancestors. I got the old stuff. Wait a couple more days, and I'll go be able to go on and get some honey and fulfill some of these orders. Have you ever had mushroom coffee? No, I haven't had mushroom coffee. Now you piqued my interest. Shouts out to Miss CeeLo. She was out there last night. I saw you, Miss CeeLo. I saw you. All right. So family, first off, giving honor to the Creator by whatever name you choose to call that Creator. We lift up our glass and we salute and we say, that's right, Ashe. From there, family, we move on to the stars of the show. We're going to get through this so that we can go and open up these lines. If there's some discussion that needs to be had, we could do it. If there's some jokes that need to be told, we could tell them. All right, here we go. So, giving honor and lifting up our glass to our ancestors, we want to salute Miles Brown, Miss Ann, Robin the Texana Davis, Herman Brown Sr., Rosalie Tilly, George and William Walton, Christopher Gasson, Aunt Lena, Uncle Chris, Aunt Fiend, Cleveland, Geneva Brown, Margaret Ellis, Wash Ellis, Cecil Ellis, Alvaro Brown, Gina Gaines, Herman Brown II, Barbara Twiggs, Wash Ellis Jr., Katie Ellis, Nikki Ellis, Jamon Jones, Jeremiah Tappan, John Fallar, Montague Pittman, No More X, Pat Mount, Rob, Malika Fakur, Dr. Marianne Williams, Kojo Kamal, Elder Farmer, Elder Millie Dixon, Tony Clark, Pastor Yusuf Weston, Elder Ajani, Elder Ron Coleman, Elder Robert Donaldson, Alfred Brofro, Hector Jr., J. Edwards, Carlisle Harris, Grace Lundy, Inez Harris, William Bill Moss, Phyllis Rose, Sterling and Lucy Wright, Derek L. Pulliam, the Luxter Brothers, Miss Edith Brooks Crawley, Miss Marie Nelson, Mr. Frederick Crawley Sr., Miss Jerry Brunson, Mr. Alonzo Johnson, Miss Marie McDowell, Janice Foster, Charles Jordan, Kill Smith, Walter Smith, Richard Trigg, Francis Johnson, Mary Franklin, Jimmy Williams, Daniel Ford, George Gibson, Nana Loretta Clark, Inez McCrae, Fritz Clark, Frankie Justice, Katie Justice, Derek Grinderman, Virginia Rogers, Reverend James Smith, Lois Henderson, Kevin Spratling, Mary Elizabeth Walker, Raymond Walker Sr., Sarah Jane Carter, Michael Ford Jr., Kellen D. Russell, Susie B. Smith, Teresa Clay, Melvin Dale Hodge Jr., Herman Copeland, Mildred Copeland, Jenny Clay, Bird Beatty, Sarah Weller, Be the Farmer, Agosa Sue, Cheryl Harvey, Aunt Charmaine, Aunt Evelyn, Theolis Hasbury, Harvey Hasbury Sr., Leonard Dickinson, T.C. Islam, Terrell Dunbar, Will Thomas, Sarah Berry, Mark Walsh, Merle B. Thornton, Pearl G. Thornton, Ida Johnson, Flores M. Carter, Joanne Thornton, Erica Tricia Lewis, Juanita Wright, Robert Wright, George Wright, Mary Eliza Frederick Davis, Mary Elizabeth Rogers, Mary Esther Keechler Reese, Linda Watson Hammonds, Jarrell Giles Watson Sparrow, Slimmy Selvin Lewis, Andrew Holmes, Pearl Moore, Percy Moore Jr., Mildred Owens, Booker T. Bolden, Charlie Hunt, Sammy Stover, Hilda Pearson, Sturgeon Thornton, Richard Thornton, Lavina Hall, Freeman Bankster, Mary Moss, Ophelia Peacock, Willie Thornton, Napoleon Kenty, Mark Ramsey, Paul Ramsey, Matt Ramsey, David Ramsey, Charles E. Thornton, Frankie Quells, Urania Thornton, Bernice Quells, Ernestine Jackson, Frankie Johnson, Teresa Mormon, Leon Johnson, Charles Bell, Vivian Ramsey, S.C. Johnson, Del Rita Johnson, Leon Johnson, James W. Sr., James Parham, Dana Jones, Heme World, James Farmer, Mary Chavez, Leon Grace, Bessie Johnson, Hattie Levester, Mary Moreland, Paul Moreland, Elder Caleb, Rosemary Martinaire, Elder Amatet Wellman, Fred Douglas Triggs, Sr., Thelma Triggs, Thomas and Lula Berry, Lacey and Eleanor Howe, Franklin Russell and Davis, Fred Douglas Triggs II, Vina Triggs, Reverend Eddie Moore, Helen Footer, Eugene Jackson Sr., Richard Ellis, Silas Alexander, Charles Maxwell, Percy May Alexander, Arthur Reynolds, Stanley Lockhart, Ricky Lockhart, William Lockhart, Woodrow Lockhart, Brenda Porter, Deacon Hargrove, Carla Sawyer, Andrew Parker, Doris Donald, Ellis Murphy, D'Amico, Russell, Gilliman Aries, Jean and Ruth Jones, Jana Callahan, William Walter West, Nigella Parrish, Elder Basiji Falani, Jim Robinson, Gladys Johnson, Valerie Clark, John and Mary Sullivan, Dirk Johnson, Antonio Johnson, Delise Waters, DeFriedis Hines, Inez Bostic, Edna Bostic, Winifred Scantleberry, Wilson Headley, Elma Hines, Phyllis Lee, Eugene Spratling, Calvin Spratling, Charles Wooden, Penny Brown, Roy Lee Print-Up Jr., Miriam Johnson, Wilbur Longmire, Edith Cadney, Janice Carter, Michael Carter, Leon Peanut Carter, Margaret Carter, William Carter, Lisa Jordan, Charles Lee Mosley, Dorothy R. Blair, Ransom Evans Sr., Sam Evans Sr., Nalon Blair Sr., Edward Stevens, Sue Ann Stevens, Joe Davis, Timothy Butler, Gene Holmes, Dana Jones, Peter Charles, Christy Nichols, Cardinal Robinson, Rosemary Charles, Ada Pearl, Bob Ingalls, Jack Wallace, Warren M. Finch, Warren P. Finch, Tim Ingalls, Audrey Finch, William Billingsley Jr., Jennifer Sensenbaugh, Hazel Gasson, Jerry Bradley, Brian Watson Jr., Kaneko Parsons, Jason Cathy Bradford, Thomas Bradley, also known as Uncle Buki, Gypsy. Hey! It's real life here at Giambi Journey. Reverend Roosevelt Word I, Stacey Trice, Frank Smith, Mother Bertha, Michael Leonard, David Brown, Ruth Carter, June Cox, Ruth Cox, Paula Cox, Ronald Irvin, Judy Hubbard, Irene Johnson, Francis Boots Jefferson, Dan Wilkinson Sr., Emma McClendon, Jerry Doyle, Amina Robinson, Mary Nichols, Patricia Williams, Shabaka Teray, Greg G2 Gibson, Donna Hill, Richard Glebus, Lee Irby, Tommy Irby, Boy Irby, Jim Gaucher, George and Hallie Johnson, Archie and Margaret Armstead, Diane Scott, Erica Armstrong, Claire Fox, Gene Evans, Archie Beck, Anna McGill, Charles McDaniel, Christine Cottrell, Aunt Becca, Alice Arnold, Arthur Arnold, Hattie Reed, Charles Reed, Eula and Andrew Baker, Patricia and Edwin Brooks, Gwendolyn and Bob Hatch, Kimball Vernon, Bradley Kim, Janie Harriet Tubman Cates, Spencer Sturgis, Ellie Mae Baker, Ethel Baker, Creola Baker, Geneva Baker, Aaron Nino Baby Hatch, Hatch Sr., Mally Miller, Housie Hatch, Dad Cleveland, Mother Gibson, Alex Nixon, John Bowie, Lester and Rachel Saunders, Doretha Ross, Riola Ross, Robert Nelson, Francis Stevenson, Leroy Stokes, Neely Johnson, Fletcher Swan, Maddie and Charlie Scott, Ida Casey, Thomas Cofer, Vivian Stevenson, Mona Ann Lewis, Cornetta Lyman Lewis, John Jackson, William Dallas Lewis, Mae Francis, Chappelle Jackson, Michael Slade, Joanne Perkins, Richard Jackson, Martha Ford Dawson, Big Mama, Nanny Harris, Eva Ford, James Hairston, Margaret Towns, Mary Williams, Leroy Q. Heath Sr., Albert Moore, Miss Vanilla, Albert Motley, Geraldine Elizabeth, Douglas Thompson, Earleton Houston, Lud Alls, Elijah Alls, Jerome Alls, Henry West Staten, Joe Jamel Alls, Ann Pierce, Donald Carter, Lily Green, Nathan Green, Beth Bond, John Dewey, Ruth Beard, Tim Butler, Ramey, Laura Newton, J.B. Foggy, Thomas Newton Sr., Barbara Naeem, Jeanette Sanders, Jerry C. Sanders, Roy Pruitt, H.J. Brantley Sr., Henry Wilson, Rufus Jenkins, Minnie Wilson, Catherine Sanders, Muriel Ellis, Elizabeth Sanders, Henrietta Irby, Mildred Armstead, Margaret Armstead, Catherine Anthony, Ruby Brown, Charles Walker, Charles Walker Sr., Charlie Walker, Cecil Russell, Diane Urban, Haroon Phillips, William Ford, Margaret Logan, Phyllis Barnett, Lee Irvin Sr., Michael Irvin, Ozella Watson, Hugo Watson, John Caldwell Sr., Robbie Lee Caldwell, Nevaeh Mitchell, Ron McCormick Sr., Sabrina Easley, Rashawn Easley, Javea McCormick, Barbara Ann Reed, Dorothy Ann Reed, John Reed, Shechem Aha Reed Jr., John Reed Jr., Patricia Reed, Edward R. Benson Sr., Ethel H. McNair, Lois Fernandez, Jacqueline Broadus, Reginald Oliver, Mazarine Coper, George Swan, Imani Grayson, Charles Scott, Charles H. Scott, Michael Morgan, Charlene Morgan, Sybil Edwards McNabb, Annie Ferguson, William Ferguson, Shelby McClendon, Joella Giles, James Carswell, Liberta Adams, also known as Aunt Sis. We got Elder Shaka McNair and Anthony Brown. So we lift up our glass and we say, Ashe. Thank you, thank you. Y'all making all that noise. I appreciate y'all following along a little bit. All right, so now, family, from there we move on into the present moment. We lift up our glass. We salute this moment. In this moment is our power. I constantly try to remind myself of that, and I constantly try to remind my family of that. In this moment is our power, and we reach out and we grab our power, right? And we salute this moment because we're always in the moment. So stop wasting them, all right? Here we go. We are on Imani in this moment. We are on Imani. Imani. For those that don't speak the language, Imani is faith. Oh, my fault. I'm sorry.
Damn, Ron, come on! What's the matter with you?
Tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
All right, do that out there for Miss CeeLo. She remembered that, right? So we had time this morning, so we put it on. There is no tomorrow. We only exist in the now, right? For those that don't speak the language, Imani means faith. The motto principle of the day is harmony. Trust is the M7 that we teach. Red is the color I don't have on the red. I just got up, took my shower, found what I got. Gender is the Hermetic law for the day. Male name, today is Kwesi's day. Female is Akosua, right? So, all right, family. Also, from the Emotional Emancipation Circle, African Centered Culture, Virtue, and Value System. In Wolof today, we are practicing Jom, a sense of honor and self-respect. Akan ethics, goodness of human nature. And in Yoruba, Oju Ona, originality. All right. So in the moment, we toast this moment, we lift up our glass, realizing that when we lift our glass for the moment, we are making a pact with our ancestors and a pact with our future generations. So we lift up our glass and we say, Ashe, all right, Kwesi, it's your day, man. We lift up our glass and we say, Ashe. From there, we move to our children, our children's children, on into infinity. We lift up our glass, and you know what we say, right? Ashe. Now, from there, we lift up our glass and we toast all of our relations, and we say Ashe. From there, family, we toast us. Right now, this is our selfish moment. Just take a little bit. What do you need in this moment, right now, to be the best you that you could be? We lift up our glass and we say Ashe. Where do we go from there, family? I want to toast you. Yup, the most marvelous, beautiful, inspiring, uplifting individual in the world, and in at least in the room that you in right now. I toast you, right? Lift up the glass to you, and we say Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. All right, family, lines are open. We got a couple minutes to kick it. We done took care of our ancestors. Now we can go and kick it and have conversation. I'm about to open up these lines. Let's see if anybody who gonna be the first to call in. Open mic session, family, for you to talk about whatever it is that's on your mind. You know what I'm saying? The call-in number is 614-556-4535. Once again, the call-in number is 614-556-4535. Call into the black line. We got the black signal. We got the black line.
You are the first.
We got a black state of mind.
Please hold while we wait for the others to join.
So, while we're waiting, let's see if we could do some little music real quick. I downloaded just a little bit. Let's see. I want to do Ghost in the Shell. It's just a little instrumental. We'll let it play for a second. I'll be able to get my coffee together for this conversation. My God. Well, hold on. Here we go. I'm going to do this one real quick. I ain't heard this one.
Beware the six-pack coming down your track like that. Check them like 1, 2. The 6-yard train coming through. Quicker than a Pentium data for the next millennium. Spirit informs, no conforms to the norms. Dropping bombs, I let it, said it, meant it. Here to represent it. Some live off the labels of the old school, mold you, and that's the trend. What I tend to see, the new tack ain't new. In fact, just bitten pieces of debris, recycling fragments of rubble from a somewhat familiar voice, and so many MC and so little choice. This won't make me popular. Dropping the lyrics that appeal and flock to ya. I itself am just as accurate as Doppler. I'm rocking ya, spiritual sip and sopping my fly it up and it goes.
Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey.
Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey.
I said I go. I go.
Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey.
Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey.
Dearly beloved, we were gathered here to bring up the rear piece to Popa. We yell. We shed no more tears for fears when I'm chucking my spear. I'm that spook who sat by the door waiting for the big score while you're trying to get yours from the capitalist whore. And the red, white, and blue halter stacks and minis. She shimmies, you follow, you swallow, losers. Non-producers, consumers, consume propaganda's got me fuming. My people are doomed. Power to the people, power to the seekers. Instead we're reduced to amps and speakers. $200 sneakers, acquisitions of blue designer suits. Benz and Lexus, battle with sexes, sport utility trucks and such. We're slaves to a quick buck. We run amok. How far can we run when we're stuck? The race is won by wisdom, not muscle. Still we all struggle. Should be excused to hustle for instant gratification, perpetuation of culture mutilation. Y'all, hey.
Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey.
I go. I say hey, y'all, hey.
Hey y'all, hey.
We should be reaching for Orion. Instead, we have a love affair with dying. Getting drunk till we fold, and dough till we blowed. Does the superficial high suffice for the lows? No time for idle. Introspection and life lessons are everyone's Quran, Torah, Bible. Gluttonous eats, defeats the true purpose of eats. The temple falls off from foreign chemicals, toxins, and meats. You call food enriched when it's stripped of nutrients and bleach. I'm not meant to be reached when flesh-tone band-aids are bleached. Every native slash European contract was breached. What will Ebonics do for the disenfranchised? Mumia gets no justice cause Mumia is despised. Reverse discrimination versus racism will never be tied. English, the bastard language of the not-so-civilized. Ridiculous spliced tongues is what the Western language is. So is it broken English like a double negative? Yo, hey.
Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey.
I go.
Call-in lines are open 614-556-4535.
Hey y'all.
Open mic, family, whatever you want to talk about. It's on you. You got something you want to show, you want to share, an event coming up. Oh, tonight we do have an event coming up.
Hey y'all.
Hey y'all, hey y'all. Shouts out, Brother Malik and the Willoughbys, also known as Spirit. And also shouts out to Willoughby Soul Veg. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I saw Carnell last night. Yep, it was a good day yesterday. So, like I said, lines are open. Y'all ain't scared. Somebody on the line? Who on the line?
It's Quasi.
What's up, superstar? Quasi came out last night as well. Stayed out just for a second, you know. Hey, what's going on, my man?
Not too. I actually just woke up. Not too. I hear my echo. Oh, it's gone. Cool. Yeah, I just woke up a minute ago, man. I was tired. Yesterday was something.
Yeah,
man. Energy out of your boy. And then the whole week actually was something. So then yesterday was a humdinger.
Did you say humdinger? Are you old enough to know what a humdinger is? Did this young man just say, hold on, he said a humdinger. Oh my God. Get the strike from God. The young man with the old spirit, he said it was a humdinger. So what was so great about last week, my man? Because it's open mic. Let's go, family. This is therapy. You know what I'm saying? How was it a great week, man? What made it so fantastic?
I wasn't saying great in a good way per se. I wasn't saying in a bad way. It was just intense. It was pretty non-stop things going on. You know, it was just a very energetic week. yeah, I talked to some people that I hadn't talked to in a while. Had some pretty intense conversations. There was just a lot of stuff. I mean, even in the country and the news, there was a lot of stuff to take in. You know.
Right. You know, with the shutdown coming to the end, and one of the things, man. I mean, with this whole shutdown thing, man, my man is sticking to his lies, man. I love it, man. I love commitment.
If he ain't nothing, he got.
I love commitment, man. So, and it's like, it's beautiful. And like I said yesterday, I found out that he's willing to build the wall out of thread now. You know, he went from concrete to metal to plastic. Marshmallows was even thrown on the table. He was considering marshmallows, and if he get the Democrats to go with him on that, he would build it out of marshmallows. Thread. No.
Trevor Noah was funny. Man, I don't know if anybody be watching the Daily Show, man, but Trevor Noah be hitting it on the head. He said he was willing to make the wall out of those baby pen things that you put up so the babies don't fall down the steps.
Man, Trevor Noah be stealing my shit. Trevor Noah, you better stop getting in on my show. You know what I'm saying? That's been a running joke for the last couple of weeks and shit. Now Trevor Noah's stealing my shit. Come on.
He be watching G and J for inspiration.
That's what I'm saying, man. Then put your ancestors on the list, man. You know I might.
Then he got the nerve to not even call in. What an asshole.
That's what I'm saying, man. But hey, it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. You know, but what was I gonna say? Yeah, I had the pleasure to get on the mic last night. I ain't did no poetry in a while, so I stumbled around a little bit. Did 2 pieces last night for Brother Aesop. And I'm still trying to put some names together about some other people that read last night. Oh my God. All right, but it's all good. It's all good. Bro, once again, lines are open. If you want to join the conversation, and we ain't particularly talking about nothing. So if you ain't got nothing to talk about, you just want to be on the line and just so I can say your name, I'll say your name or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or if you got a subject that you want to hit on, go ahead. I mean, cause
I got a subject.
Go ahead.
I don't know. It's deep. It's some deep shit. You know me. I can't help it. It ain't no lollipops and gumdrops.
Or no baby pins that keep the baby from falling down. Go ahead.
Not at all. Yeah. Hide the baby pins on this one. Well.
Uh-oh.
Even the way it sounds, I wish if it was named something else, then it would be easier to say. But it's just too because I try to be. I mean, you know, I know that a lot of the stuff I talk about, like you better watch out, hide your kids, hide your wife. For real, man. But this is even the name of it, man. I'm just mad that it has to be called this because it sounds like some doom and gloom type shit, and literally that's in the name. I don't know how many people that was alive during like the Cold War. I guess that was like the 1950s. They came up with this thing called the Doomsday Clock.
Stop. Yo, young ass got one more time to get the time periods wrong, man. The Cold War wasn't just in the 50s, man. He said way back. I was alive during the goddamn Cold War, man. Your mom was alive during the Cold War. Happy birthday to Miss
So that was in the 70s then?
Well, through the 70s too. Happy birthday to Miss Barbara Font. Barbara Font. That is her birthday as well. And I want to say happy birthday to her as well. And I didn't get a chance to hear her read last night. God damn it. And then on top of that, we're going to get back to with your little insults and shit about old people. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to let it slide this time, but you're talking about back in the Doomsday Clock. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. I'm listening. I done pulled my feelings out of it. Go ahead.
My bad, man.
But hold on. Hey, check this out. It
was my aim. It was my aim. There was no intention. I need to go to the range and get my aim back.
I got one more thing for you. Check this out. Did I tell you that you remember we used to do the poetry night every Ujima? I was about to do those push-ups. And I will only see certain people at nighttime. Did I tell you that I never knew that Barbara Font had those brown eyes until I ran into her like 10 years after the poetry stuff?
That's hilarious.
I never knew she had brown. The shit blew my mind. I seen her one day, and I was talking to her, and I was like, "What's wrong with your eyes?"
Well, I can't say the same thing, sir. It took me about 4 seconds.
Well, yeah, I mean, y'all, you young, man. You young. But anyway, back to your subject. But my fault. Shouts out to Miss Barbara Fine. Happy birthday. I'm sad that I did get to hear her read. But then on top of that, I think she might have been reading over at the Lincoln Theater because
that was Mark Lomax. I saw Scott Wood going in.
No, she on that album. She on that album.
Oh, really? She did. I actually talked to her last night because I was intending to go there, and then I came and told you I had a flat tire. That's why I wanted to just kind of. I came through and told Sister Navita happy birthday. I hit Barbara up and told her, that I intended to go up there and see it and everything. And then, she told me about the concert that was going on across the street. But you know how humble she is, so she said it was a huge deal, but she wouldn't say that that's just how she is.
Wait, so you saw her up in Navita's place? You saw her up in Navita's place? You saw her up in Navita's place, or you saw her at...
we talked on the phone.
Okay. Well, maybe she wasn't, but I know she on the album. As a matter of fact, me and Cleve went to go see Dragon Ball Super. And in one of the intro films, they had the Mark Lomax piece, and Barbara Font was reading a poem on that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's incredible, man. When you see, I love to see my people shine, man. And especially when you know them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we spent a lot of time in the same space with her, and now she's on the big screen before a movie come on. That shit was hot. But
I want to say this too, man. Columbus got some dope ass Aquarius. Aquarian?
It ain't just Aquarius.
Columbus got a huge Aquarius,
Aquarius is all right.
Movement going on. You got your Mark Lomax, Barb. You got Scott Woods. You got Malik, or I don't know if Malik is, but I know Carnell is.
Carnell is. I don't know about Malik. I don't think Malik is. You know what I'm saying? But we got a pretty good Pisces club too. So
y'all playing catch up. Y'all got some dope ones. I don't think y'all got the numbers that we got out
here. We
set
set the fire. We lit the fire up under you motherfucking Aquariuses so that y'all can start, you know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for the age of Pisces, there would be no age of Aquarius. What is you talking about?
Jesus come out me, so I can't say too much about it.
Jesus come out of the age of Pisces, my friend. What is you talking about?
Did I mention that I was an Aquarius? Yeah. Oh, okay, my bad. Go ahead.
All right, I'm gone with that Aquarius shit, y'all.
Shout out to my mama, Pisces. What up? Thank you. I appreciate it.
As a matter, you just proved my point. There would be no nappy headed you if it wasn't for Pisces, my friend. And a Pisces that's a twin.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
He certainly is.
So, hold on, brother Kwame. Because we going back to your doomsday insult and shit. Because for all those over 45, this nigga think that the Cold War was a 1950s thing. All right, so I'm just throwing that out there. This is how these young people view us. Way back in the 1950s and shit. All right.
You got to have everybody mad at me. Thank you.
Miss CeeLo say she loved Trevor Noah, but if you love him, tell him he better stop stealing my shit. Cause I'll catch that little South African and beat the bricks off of him. Brother Kwame is celebrating the fact that you know what a humdinger is. Miss Sakmet, Grand Rising, Brother Hatem, shouts out to you as well. And I'll be catching you on some of your lives as well, sister. Thank you for tuning in. All the while, the Cold War was going. Proxy war was being fought all over the place, like Cuba. You know, don't be mad at him, Kwame. He ain't know no better. He don't know no better, all right? So we going to go on and let Kwesi go on back and insult all the people that's over 45 real quick with his comment about the doomsday clock and shit. You know, because you know the Cold War ended in the 50s. Y'all know that, right?
It ended when?
I'm just playing, Kwesi. It didn't end in the 50s, man. Go ahead.
Oh. Well, shout out to all the old people. You know I got love for y'all.
Your time coming, my friend. Go ahead.
I'll be 36 in 2 weeks. I'm at the edge of youngness.
You still, you at that, you going to be saying goodbye to that and the getting up and, you know, like I had my last major fight in my late 30s and I didn't. And after that, it was like, shit, I ain't young no more. I can't do this shit. I can't do this. I said, told my daughter, I said, I can't participate in your domestic violence issues no more. You need to make some better choices. This some bullshit. I was walking around with sunglasses and shit, and I'm like, God damn. Usually, when I was younger, I used to be able to fight and jump the fuck up. The next day, I woke up the next day, I was like, my sons was laughing at me and shit. Pops, you can't be out there doing that. Why you ain't calling us? No, man, it's cool. But go ahead. Doomsday clock. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, man, I go to the Y every morning, man, at like 6 o'clock. I try to make it in there at 6 o'clock.
I seen your pictures. You gonna make me have to work out. But go ahead.
I mean, I ain't even really 3 months in, for real. And I'm just kind of hitting a place where I'm just starting, for real. I just got to a place where I could start. You know what I mean? I'm about to really kick it up enough now. But, so I was on the treadmill. I could actually talk about that another time, talk about my regiment, and it might be helpful to somebody, because I think I can come up with a pretty solid regiment. But, so I'm sitting there, it's probably about 7 or 8 people in there. The treadmill is the first thing I do every day, so it was definitely probably before 6:30. Sometimes I get in there late, so it was probably around between 6 and 6:30. So I'm looking at the news, man. You know, it's got the 3 TVs in there. I'm sitting at the 2 on the edge is always Sports Center, and the one in the middle is the news. So I'm sitting there looking at that one. And then it say at 10 o'clock today they're going to release the update for the doomsday clock. So I'm looking around. Ain't nobody else paying attention. Ain't nobody else see it. I'm like, hey, did y'all see that? Nobody seen that shit? Nobody noticed it. So I was like, well, I guess that was a message for me. So I go home. I go to the grocery store, do a couple things. I get home like right at 10. Turn on I Google it. I Google doomsday clock, and it come up. So I'm sitting there listening to it. You know, they give it a little build up, talking about the history of it, talking about the Cold War, and talking about how that was the closest they had come to the nuclear war. So basically, the doomsday clock is something. It's not some hoogity boogity thing some creep dude in the basement came up with. It's a bunch of legit scientists come up with this concept, and based off of the idea of midnight. So it's hypothetical. Man, I'm doing a little air quote thing. At midnight, if we hit midnight, that means that we're pretty much in a nuclear war, and that probably millions of people are dying.
Not pretty much. So, when it hits 12, if it hits 12, that means that the balloon went up. And that's an old term, you know. You might not know that. The balloon go up, you know.
It's gonna be a real humdinger, right?
Yeah, It might be it might be a little bit beyond a humdinger. It's gonna be totally fucked up. But go ahead.
So they said at this point in time during the Cold War, they said that it was 2 minutes until midnight.
Right.
The closest that we had ever come to nuclear war and the potential of humanity destroying itself was during the Cold War. So once the Cold War ended, then it started to scale back, and then they said in like 1991 was the farthest that we had ever gotten from midnight, and it was like 7 minutes until midnight in 1991. Mm-hmm. One of the most peaceful times we've had since the Cold War. So then in 2006, they said they started to factor in climate change into the equation, because when it first started, the only thing that they were taking into consideration was nuclear war, and then in 2006 they started to factor in climate change. So and then they went ahead and they released this year's time. They said that we are once again 2 minutes from midnight.
Hey, are you concerned?
Well, you know, honestly, when I heard them say that, I kind of caught bullshit. I feel like they must have got bought off, because thinking about the Cold War, we're in the well, I mean, you know, I don't know the ins and outs of the Cold War, but I know it was a lot of communist stuff. I know that there was some tension between Cuba and Russia.
No.
The Russians had...
Stop, youngin'. Stop it, youngin'. There was no beef between Russia and Cuba.
No, yeah. Russia and the United States. But right, Cuba was the linchpin.
There you go. Go ahead. All right.
And Cuba was on Russia's side, and the United States didn't like it that Russia was in their backyard, or their front yard, pretty much. So there was a lot of tension between the United States and Russia, and I think even Russia had like some warships or some type of warplanes, and had the capability of hitting the United States pretty readily.
Right.
So the thing of it is now is that there's even more nuclear superpowers. You got North Korea now, and Iran.
That ain't no superpower.
Even though they all tell us that they're not, I'm pretty sure Iran has at least some level of nuclear capability. But then on top of all that, you got Venezuela being like the linchpin for all of that. You know?
Why is Venezuela the linchpin for all that?
Well, so I've been doing a little bit of research. So the president that Venezuela voted into power and is rightfully the president is Maduro.
Right.
He's the one that the people voted in overwhelmingly.
Right.
But the United States doesn't like Maduro.
Right.
They say that they wanted to paint the picture that the citizens of Venezuela don't like Maduro. Because for anybody that don't know, Venezuela is one of the oil richest, if not the oil richest country on the planet. Everybody knows about Saudi Arabia, but Venezuela has potentially larger oil fields than Saudi Arabia. So, but with that being said, in the past 2 or 3 years, their economy has like imploded.
Right.
And there's like a lot of homelessness, and a loaf of bread is like $1,000 if you could find it. Like there's a lot of people starving. About 3 million people have fled the country into neighboring countries, so there's a lot of instability in the region.
Right.
So the United States essentially is blaming, and then you had Chavez, right? Hugo Chavez was the former president, and then in came Maduro, and they're a very similar type of leader. So the United States is wanting to paint Maduro as one who is exploiting the people, kind of similar to how they talked about Gaddafi. So they just, I don't know what day it was. One of these days this week, another big thing that happened this week was Donald Trump and Mike Pence recognized this dude. I don't know who the hell he is.
As the leader.
You know,
right?
As the president against the people. And so, you know, because they said that he had the concerns of the people at heart. So, in response to that, Maduro said that the United States has 72 hours to get all of the diplomats out of the country. I think under penalty of death or something like that, right?
He ain't gonna. I mean, he just said they got 72 hours. I don't think it was under penalty of death because.
Well, I mean, how you going to enforce that? You can't say no shit like that and then be like, okay, 73 hours.
No, get the fuck up out of my house, or there's going to be consequences. So see, because now for him to do a blanket threat like that would basically open up permission for the United States to come in there. You know what I'm saying? So in a sense, United States is looking for a reason to go down there. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, if it's all that oil down there, they're looking for a reason to go in there anyway. You know what I'm saying? They
But I
help
don't
them.
think Russia having that shit though.
Huh?
I don't think Russia having that shit. I don't think we want no smoke with Russia.
No. Well, listen. Now, let me just say this to you, dog. It's sort of like, no, we don't want smoke with Russia. But it ain't like Russia won't smoke with us either. Now, for Russia to come, I mean, it's sort of like this is the United States backyard. All this shit over here. And for Russia to be over here and our shit right here, it's going to be like the two bullies on the playground are, you know what I'm saying, you in my lunchbox. You know, you a bully, I'm a bully. Now, you know, I got my side of the playground, you got your side of the playground. All right, homie, why the fuck you reaching into my lunchbox? Why you eating my banana? You don't, you know, we got an agreement. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to fight. I don't necessarily want to fight you. You don't necessarily want to fight me. You know what I'm saying? We can split the spoils. We can cause confusion with everybody else, but you know, you in my lunchbox, nigga. You in my lunchbox, Quasi. Why you fucking with my banana, homie? You know what I'm saying? So, I see, now, the whole piece about, because, how can I put it? That, and, see, when you brought up the doomsday clock, for me, the biggest issue, for me, hold on, who is calling me? Hold on, I just had to see. I'm just messing around right now, seeing if it'll work. But anyway, with the whole doomsday clock, you know how many, being old, do you know how many times I sat through watching the world just was supposed to be ending and shit? I mean, it don't even faze me no goddamn more. I grew up during the time when the doomsday clock was at 12:58. You understand what I'm saying? It was 12:58 my whole adolescence and shit, you know. And we would have classes where we would discuss, you know, the military might of Russia compared to us, or at that point in time it was the USSR. You know, you might be too young to have heard about that, right? And so NATO was sort of like United States on their side of the world, and then they was doing little stuff down around, you know. So, you know. Now, I will say you hitting on something with the Venezuela, but now is Russia in Venezuela right now?
Yeah.
So you saying that and with Maduro going out and America putting in their dude, or trying to put in their dude, you're saying that's going to cause beef between the United States and Russia?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's going to. I say that there is beef between the United States and Russia. Yeah, at least, I mean, there's ongoing beef between the United States and Russia. I always wonder how much of it is political theater, too. You know, I got to put that out there.
And then always remember, it is political theater. I mean, because the aim of both of these countries and now is basically them trying to stay on top. You know what I'm saying? That's it. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, so this is my thoughts though. When I saw it, I kind of called bullshit, because I think all of the same things are on the table as they were during the Cold War, even though I wasn't alive then and I don't necessarily know all of the ins and outs. But
me neither.
It seemed to me like at that point in time, it was the United States and Russia.
It was USSR.
There was some tension.
There's a difference between
United States and
USSR.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different.
Right. Yeah. So those were the two powers on the table. But now you got more powers on the table with the potential to get involved. And you also have, since in 2006, they factored in climate change. So to me, for them to say 2 minutes again seemed a little bit, I thought they would have said like 45 seconds or something. That's what I was expecting to say, 45 seconds. But they said 2 minutes, and I was like, I wonder if that's just somebody's buying it off, because I think you could damn near say 2 minutes with just like climate change, or at least, you know, because they just released reports. They've been releasing so many reports in so many different directions. They're talking about how by 2030 now that they anticipate that there's going to be an irreversible, like we're going to have made irreversible damage on the planet by 2030.
Mm.
And when previously they were saying 2050, and before that they were saying 2100. Like, so they're continuously scaling that back. And now it's only 10 years out, a little over 10 years out, that they're saying that we're going to have reached somewhat like of a point of no return of having done damage to the planet with our consumption habits. You know, so then when you factor in the potential of war that I think is, you know, it's not equal, potentially maybe even more significant than it was during the Cold War. And not to mention, you know how they say, like, I can't think of it's some kind of quote, but whenever something happens the second time, if you've done something, it's always easier next time to go a little bit farther, right? Like if me and you was about to fight, and then the first time we was just kind of bumping shoulders and throwing insults. The next time throwing insults and bumping shoulders ain't gonna work. Somebody gonna swing, enough. You know?
Right. Or it ain't gonna be enough. So now,
right.
Now there's a term that Brother Kwame threw in here that you need to check out. It's called a proxy war. Proxy war. All right?
Yeah, that's kind of like hand-to-hand with the Cold War, right?
Well, yeah, well, it still goes on where opposing forces that are in a sense too big to fight have little motherfuckers fight for them, right, and causing trouble. You know what I'm saying? Special forces, you send special forces in, and there's wars going on. Like for example, motherfuckers don't even. I mean, this is how crazy things is. You know, a lot of Americans don't even know that we still in war. We still basically at war in Afghanistan and Iraq. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're just totally oblivious of this. All this money is just going out, and we're just totally oblivious of this. Then you're talking about this shit going on in our backyard, which is basically another proxy war. Which, you know, I mean, it had to happen somewhere, and it's going to happen somewhere where it's resource rich. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, we don't even know there's some shit going on the continent right now that people ain't even paying attention to, because you looking at Venezuela, shit, look at what's going on the continent right now. America's starting to stack up over there. Russia's starting to stack up over there. China's over there buying up shit, you know, getting...
What continent?
On Africa, in Africa, right now. Shit, you know what I'm saying? Venezuela, you know, boom, they're but shit, they right now, eyes are on Africa right now. You know what I'm saying? If you look around the same area where the slave trade was popping off, you seeing China investing up in there, Russia's trying to move up in there, United States is up in there. You know what I'm saying? We got all these bases over there. You know what I'm saying? So it's some shit. You know what I'm saying? And when you got militaries, right, you got to do something every now and then to keep to justify paying these motherfuckers. You know, I'm just saying. You know, I mean, you know, it's crazy. So I mean, and being able to have, and that's why I said open mic. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I'm glad you're looking into that. But keep on going, because it's not doom and gloom for those of us old enough to recognize the same shit is the same shit, different decade. Same shit, different century. Same shit. You know what I'm saying?
I think honestly, obviously, I would say that the powers that be, I mean, when you want power, you want power. The last thing a person or a group of people that are getting all the money and all the resources and all the wealth, all the power, last thing they want to do is blow up their power center, you know? Obviously.
But you gotta...
They don't want that.
No.
Well, with that being said, I also think that, I guess two things kind of come to mind. First is that accidents can happen. Just like, remember that shit that happened last year in Hawaii? They accidentally had people thinking that a nuclear
bomb was
launch or something like that happened. Remember that?
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? And then on the other hand, so accidents can happen, like, and miscalculations can happen. But the other thing is, I also think that the powers that be don't want all of these people on the planet. They want to reduce the population dramatically.
Why?
So, because it's unsustainable. The amount, I don't think a lot of people be wanting to hear this shit, but especially Americans. I think if they could get rid of one group of people that would have the best impact on increasing the sustainability of resources, it will be get rid of Americans, because Americans use 10 times, 100 times more resources than everybody else on the planet. Most people, maybe Europeans come in a distant second, but even over there, I don't think that they're as wasteful as we are. And then, you know, outside of that, maybe Japanese people, I know that they use a lot of resources, probably Australia. But then, like Africa, South America, most of Asia, the people, you know, they still basically living primitively. So they don't even necessarily, if anything, the land that they're on might be of more value. But Americans are a problem to the sustainability of humanity. Americans are the biggest problem to the sustainability of this planet, of humans' ability to live on this planet.
Now, let me now just to clear things up. So you saying that people that have a system that's based on slavery and keeping people poor wants to eliminate the base of the system that they have created?
I'm not saying what they want to do. I'm saying looking at it from the perspective of just thinking of it logically, just stepping outside of how I feel and thinking of it logically. I know every time I go to the grocery store and buy all of the stuff I buy, I create all of this plastic waste. I create all of this waste. I know that I'm aware of it. I'm relatively conscious of the amount of waste that I'm producing. Mm-hmm. And I intentionally recycle, especially glass. I really do my best to never throw glass away. I've been recycling plastic, even though I'm not kind of at odds with it, because I know the recycling process for plastic is just as harmful to the environment as manufacturing new plastic. But at least you don't have to use new raw material, or can reduce the amount of raw materials that you have to use. So, you know, and then paper and all of that, you know, that's cutting down trees. So I am very much wasteful, and I am aware of it. Most people don't even think about it.
I got a question for you, Quasi. I just, because I want us to really think about this shit, because it could be valid in what you're saying. But let me give it to the idea from an old dude's perspective, right? I remember when they told us that there would be no more oil in, as a matter of fact, it was Jimmy Carter. So I'm thinking, maybe that was around 1976. He had the presidential talk with the nation. He came on TV. Somebody out there could find it. He came on TV. He had his little ugly sweater on because they had turned down the heat in the White House. And they was talking about, how we had basically reached peak oil, and oil production would probably be used up by the year 2000. And, you know, and people been pushing this. Is not enough space or enough resources on this planet for everybody. And then I got people telling me that motherfuckers whose whole lifestyle is built up on the fact that there are motherfuckers wishing to be at their lifestyle and consuming shit, because the same people that create the shit that we saying is causing the problems on the planet is making money from creating the shit that's causing shit on the planet. And their whole business model is based on the fact that there are enough people to consume the useless shit that they make. I am supposed to believe that these same motherfuckers want to eliminate a certain population of the planet because we're overcrowded and there's too many people, when in fact you could take all of humanity, and you can look this up, you could take all of humanity and put us all in Texas.
Put us all in what? Texas?
In Texas. It would be a crowded existence.
I mean, we wouldn't be able to move.
I mean, it'd be a crowded existence. But listen, it's sort of hard for us to fathom how big this space that we live on is. They don't even know. you know, a lot of us, we still are trying to figure out where the fuck oil come from. You know what I'm saying? Because I am told, my story is that oil and coal come from dinosaurs.
I remember we had that conversation back in the day. That was pretty influential. I don't think about it consciously a lot, but it's always like it affected my way of thinking. Like, what did we come up with, or you came up with? I think actually you said something like oil was like the planet's blood or something like that.
Right. I mean that could be. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there because somebody guessed. Because I have to ask the question: was the planet smaller back then? Because all of a sudden now we got motherfuckers digging 2 miles down to get motherfucking oil and get diamonds and get coal and shit. And I'm supposed to believe that the Earth covered up the dinosaurs and created oil. So I don't know. I got questions about this shit. So you telling me that this is oil, poop, and blood and shit that I'm putting in my car? Come on, man. I don't.
So what about coal turning into diamonds? What do you think about that? Do you think that's
I don't know.
far-fetched?
See, now that's why when we coming together with our young people, we got to inspire them. I'm old. You still young enough to do some of this shit. Where's the research for this shit? Where is our individual think tank so that we can start addressing some of these world issues and have legitimate conversations, because we have the individuals that have done the research, just like with African history. It's only a few of us that have actually even been over to Africa. And then we got people still using old information talking about Egypt when there's not a lot of us going over there to actually do any of the field work or any of the field work in any other place in West Africa. This is why we have to start developing so that we can start developing institutions so that we can start sending people out to really start, or inspiring people to start doing the research that we need. Where does oil come from? You know what I'm saying? Why they talk about peak oil 1 minute and then the next minute is not there. Then we got these fucking proxy wars, and we know that it's, for me, it's just a matter of white supremacy putting on the show, letting people know, hey, there's a bigger struggle, bigger than the shit that y'all doing to keep the masses busy. Because I got to keep you busy, because if you're not busy, if you're not thinking about the shit that I'm doing, you're going to start thinking about your life. And as you start thinking about your life, you're going to start seeing how fucked up shit is, and you're going to come try to take my shit. You're going to get the pitchforks out. Y'all going to get the fire. Y'all going to start coming after me. So I got to keep you busy. So I give you entertainment, like you said, what you called it, the bread and circuses, right? Mm-hmm. I got to keep that shit going. So I got my best warriors. They run up against your best warriors. I got it going on the football field. I got it going on the soccer field. I even got it going on with the military, where I take your children, and every now and then I have to have a few sacrifices so motherfuckers believe that the military is something that I need to maintain. Because in order for me to be a peaceful country, I have to always be prepared for war. And we got to have the biggest military there is. You know what I'm saying? So you don't mind me spending your money on these little experimental projects and doing all this shit, and I'm telling you where everything come from, when we can't address the issue, because I got to use the data that you gave me in order to verify everything that's going on. This is why I tell black folks right now, it's easy for anybody out there to prove me wrong about where we stand as a black people as far as our income and how much we make by us just in the small circle that we got in Columbus. Because this is before you came around. We had young people do a survey of that Lincoln district. I still got the data. You know what I'm saying? Where we could look at people's income. We could do that shit within Columbus and really find out where we are as a people in Columbus far as economically. How much expendable income do black people really have in Columbus? How much they spend here? We could go on and start doing our own studies so that we could find out some of this shit. Not only about us, but about the world. and we can inspire young people. We don't have to send them to these expensive ass universities. We could go and get the computers and shit that we need and start setting up classes in motherfucking people's garages that have them. You know what I'm saying? Or having or forcing the school districts to start allowing us to use the schools because we pay taxes for that shit. So it does belong to the community. So the community want to do this shit. And if you don't allow us to do it, we'll shut this shit down. I mean, it's some simple shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not that hard. The research will be a little bit harder and raising the money to get people to be able to do it, but we could do it. I got to keep you in crisis mode. Quasi, when I tell you that I lived through the world ending and still got people around me right now waiting for Jesus. My family, I grew up in a family that was waiting for Jesus to come back. And they was waiting before I was born. And at some point in time, I had to be like, well, goddamn, this motherfucker is late. And they always yell at me about being late. Jesus is later than the motherfucker. And I had to come to terms with what maybe motherfuckers telling me a lie. Or maybe people telling me a fairy tale. I don't know. You understand what I'm saying? So let's do the research. Let's find out. Instead of waiting for some shit, why don't we be what we waiting for? I want numbers. I want to know how much we got. I want to know where oil come from. I want to know if this global warming shit is real or is we just going through a cycle that has shown up before. What's up? You know what I'm saying? We got to go on and start asking those questions and answer those questions. Navita says they want to get rid of useless eaters. Calvin, Brother Kwame says peak oil theory, and they were lying then, and they're lying about it now. Abiotic oil theory. That's what he called. That's the one about possibly that the earth creates the oil and stuff like that because the earth could be a giant living being. We don't know, but our ancestors look at the earth as a living thing. You know what I'm saying? There were certain things that you could do and certain things that you wasn't supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? It could be a giant living thing, and this could be the blood of the earth, and we're like motherfucking fleas on the earth's back. This, and what's crazy is, Quasi, some people cannot even fathom. I mean, it's like when you start looking at this is why, at least understanding some math basics, because math tries to put ununderstandable things in at least a format that you could look at it. And when you look at how big the earth is compared to a human being, the shit is humbling. Have you ever seen one of those videos about the stars where they talk about the size of the stars out in space, Quasi?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That shit, for me, is very humbling because when you look at the earth and you compare the earth to Jupiter, just Jupiter, the shit is ridiculous. And then when you compare the earth to the sun, just imagining that we are 8 light minutes away from the sun and light travels at 186,000 miles per second. We're 8 minutes away from the sun. That this thing is 1,000,000 times bigger than the earth. And then you got stars that are 1,000,000 times bigger than the sun out there. I mean, just trying to calculate that shit. So if the earth is 1,000,000 times smaller than the sun, how much smaller am I compared to the earth? This is why when Brother Albino said to me, Brother Hatim, to the Creator, you are like a blade of grass. You are no lower than its roots, and you're no higher than a blade of grass, and no lower than its roots. You know what I'm saying? It's like, goddamn, the concept is just too big for most, especially motherfuckers that's too lazy to even engage in math. It's too much.
Yeah, that's the thing about math. I think that's why people. I think that's one of the things about me. I was talking to a friend of mine. He was talking about his son is a senior in high school. He was saying that he got like a 3.3 cumulative GPA, and he was saying that he didn't do great on the SATs or the ACTs, whichever one that you take to get into undergrad. And I was thinking about how I actually never took the ACT or the SAT because I dropped out of high school. So the way I got into college was I just applied to a community college, and then I just got in just because they don't really turn people away. Then I finished that, and then I went to Ohio State through a program that they have established already. So I kind of was able to skirt the ACT. But I kind of think that happened at my detriment because I'm good at taking tests. Actually, as far as I made it in school, I made it only by taking tests and never doing homework. I'm not doing that shit. That was my philosophy. I'm not doing that shit. You can save some paper. Don't give me that bullshit. You know what I mean? But the thing of it is, why I did good at tests, I don't think it was necessarily because I was smarter than anybody. I think it was just because it didn't make me nervous.
Right.
In fact, I took it as an opportunity to kind of show off. Like, yeah, I'm about to do good this shit. I'm going to be dubbed for everybody. They going to be all right. I'm about to go play in the hallways. Y'all see y'all later. Peace, bitches. You know what I mean? Like, that was kind of my whole swag about it. It was like, I wasn't afraid to take tests. But I think a lot of people, as soon as the tests get there, their hearts start beating fast. They tell themselves, I'm not good at math. But to me, I look at numbers, and I can almost communicate. Numbers are like my friends. I talk to them. We just have an interaction. I have a dialogue with numbers when I'm sitting there looking at them. So that part of it just, for whatever reason, it missed me. So I was able to take tests and do relatively good at it. So what I've understood, just kind of saying what you just was saying in a different way, is math and numbers is like a way of problem solving. And I think that's why the powers that be probably don't want people being too good at math, because if you're good at math, then you have a tangible route to solving any problem. Variables, because especially when you started throwing letters in, people was like, okay, I was getting the numbers, but nah, how the fuck I'm supposed to add letters? But to me, it was a natural progression in the development of the of the mathematical equation of the that whole situation. I understood it intuitively, automatically. With that being said, when I got to like geometry, I still don't get geometry. That's something I want to learn as an adult, because there's a gap in my understanding, and I know fully that if I overstand geometry, that'll level my understanding of what's going on around me. I'll level up, you know?
Now, brother Kwesi asks, what level of math did you aspire to back in the days, Kwesi? And he also,
it wasn't even an aspiration. It was just fun. I think you meant Brother Kwame said that.
Yeah, well, no, he asking you. Brother Kwame asked you back in the day, Kwesi.
Okay.
He talking to you.
Actually, I need to get with you, Brother Kwame, because you definitely are. You the mathematician, and I need to level up. And I think that you could be the one to help me really conceptually understand a lot of these things. The biggest thing that I want to understand that I struggle with was circles. I never understood radius. I understand it somewhat, but at a certain point, I kind of get lost. I can kind of conceptually get what is going on, but I don't have the complete cycle of it. I get lost somewhere in the circle.
But you know what might help with that? The story of how they figured out that shit. For me, it's the stories that I remember and shit. I was more into stories and shit. And the thing the math of a story, the math of the myth, for me, it basically says at the end of it, all right, you might have got this story, but there's a whole lot more that you don't understand. And it's like, don't be scared to explore. So that's how I was able to do those tests and all that shit, because I wasn't scared to explore. I've never really been too scared to try some shit. You know what I'm saying? I might mess up, but shit, failure was, in martial arts, they taught me failure was the key. One of the reasons that I didn't go farther in football was because motherfuckers just wanted me to play the position, but they didn't want to explain the story of the position. I mean, because I would ask shit like, well, we got a quarterback, we got a halfback, we got a fullback. I don't want to be a quarter. I don't want to be a half. I want to be a full. I want to be the full means the whole goddamn thing. Nobody wanted to explain to me the difference between a quarterback, the halfback, fullback, cornerback. Why is it called a cornerback? I want to know the story behind this shit. So for me, I couldn't go no farther because I didn't understand the story, didn't understand the importance, and it was an isolated piece that they just wanted to give me. Nigga, you need to be good at this shit right here. I want to see the whole goddamn game. Give me the whole motherfucking story, and I will get in here. I don't mind hitting motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? But you can't explain it. But somebody else joined us on the line. It's probably Brother Kwame, because you start talking about math and salivating about math and shit.
I'm on my way to the fine conversation piece. So
they ain't gonna be on time anyway.
By way of the phone.
Hey, peace.
Love. Come on, boy.
So he just listening in. So you Quasi, you be bringing some good ass subjects, man. You be bringing some good ass subjects with your mean ass. But hey, first I want to remind you
I'm all about rose petals and lollipops, gumdrops and lollipops. Man, I'm the nicest person in the world.
Shit. Did you say Did you say use bullet cases and flak vests? Nigga, that's what you need to say. No. Shit. You know, but yeah, so you know, that whole piece, and I think a lot of people, because, and it's sort of like, and we got to, and sometimes we really got to understand, everybody is not meant to be an adventurer. You know what I'm saying? And some people only need the basics. But then for those that think deeper, and cause you know what I'm saying? For those that think deeper, go ahead. Hello?
No, it's me. I was telling my dog to be good.
Oh, okay. Oh, he talking to dogs. See, that's what math do for you. See, he probably got some type of equation where he could understand the damn dog. But, you know what I'm saying? But math always lets you know that there's another level. You know, just when you get to the master at one point, you think you know it all. Check this out. You know what I'm saying? And it's basically a problem solve. It's actually, for me, when I look, math is a story. It's a fucking story. It's a detective novel. When they throw all these little numbers and letters in there and shit, it's a fucking detective novel. And now, you know, and it's all in how you explain it to some people. You know, shit is a story behind this. What the fuck is X? X is here. Solve the murder mystery. Somebody kidnapped X. Who the fuck is it? You know what I'm saying? But we don't teach our kids that. We just sit them in the classroom and say, you need to know how to do this. A lot of people, you just need to know how to do this. But where's the story behind it? What's your relationship? What's your relationship to it? You know what I'm saying? We are relationship people. We are social creatures. So please let me know what this shit got to do with me. You know what I'm saying? So when people start talking about, because Quasi, I'm just saying, man, just on the size of the earth, most of us can't even visualize how big this motherfucker is. Do you know that I had the experience of actually being on a plane for damn near 24 hours? I have actually flying from Detroit. Was it Detroit? Flying from Columbus to Ghana the long way. I actually was able to fly at 1,000 miles an hour, how fast a fucking jet go. I was actually on a plane for damn near 24 hours. So, you know, I'm like, damn, I'm humbled by the fact that this motherfucker is that big that I was able to fly from Detroit, from Columbus to Detroit, from Detroit to Italy, from Italy to Ethiopia, from Ethiopia to Senegal, from Senegal to... And I'm sitting up here like, God damn, this motherfucker is big. I need another drink. I can't... I'm in a cave. Help. Can I... Alcohol, please. I'm stuck. Help me. I'm in a flying box that's so small that it's taking me 24 hours to get to my motherfucking destination. And because people don't leave outside of their area, they think that their area is major when it's a minor piece of a larger puzzle.
Yeah, I remember when I went to, okay, so my flight history, I mean, I done been on a bunch of flights at this point, like relative to, to a lot of people that have never been on a plane before. I done been on more than 20 flights. But, like, my first few flights was to D.C. I flew to D.C. a few times, a bunch of times. I flew to Milwaukee a bunch of times. So it was like each time. So from Columbus to D.C., about an hour, not even really. From Columbus to Milwaukee, a little over an hour. But then after that, I flew to Phoenix. So that was about a 3-hour flight. That was the first time that I actually went high. Like, I thought I was high before. It was like, nah, you ain't high. You ain't going far enough, because we think about the trajectory of a plane flight. It's going to go up. The higher you go, the faster you kind of go, because it has to do with the Earth spin and all of these different things. I'm guessing I don't know the equation, but the farther you go, the higher you're going to get. So when I went to Phoenix, I was so high. And then on top of that, like I could look out the window and tell when I left the Midwest, the sky looked different. It was like all of these. There wasn't clouds anymore. It's like coming. So on the way back, I looked at the sky and it was like sludge. The sky is like disgusting compared to out west. You know what I mean? So then I flew to Brazil, and like I thought I went high to go to Phoenix. Like I was so fucking high. It felt like I was in outer space. You know what I mean? So I would go to, as far as to imagine, like going to Brazil, that's as high as you're going to get. You're just going to be at that altitude for a longer time if you go all the way around the world, you know.
Right.
Do you recall the footage that they said 20,000, 40,000?
Yeah, it was like, I think 50,000 feet or something like that, wasn't it? I don't know. I could be wrong.
I was drunk. I don't know.
But I remember they were saying some high, because, like going to D.C., you barely get to, I don't even think you get to 20,000 feet.
I was drinking. I don't recall how high we were. You know what I'm saying?
Then to even bring that home again, my bad, Tim.
No, go ahead. Keep on going. I'm just joking. Shit. Not really.
One time I went skydiving. I jumped out of a plane, and we only got up to, I jumped out of the plane at 13,000 feet. And that shit, like, I mean, jumping out of the plane, that shit high as fuck. I couldn't imagine jumping out of a plane at 50,000 feet. You probably die. I don't think you can even.
Well, no, you got to have special equipment. You could do it. That's something that we could do. We have to raise the money for that shit. But you got to have special
that shit will
equipment.
Be amazing. You will be going so fast by the time. Oh my God.
Yeah, you better let that parachute go at the right time, or it don't matter. At a certain, but you know, actually, like for example, one of the things I learned when I was in a classroom. Do you know, like you could drop a mouse from a plane and it won't die? Kwame, are you aware of that? Like, it's certain things that are like at a certain size, they can actually fall from very high levels, and because they're so small, that it won't really affect their body. Is that true?
I don't believe it.
Well, I'm gonna take a mouse up just to prove my point.
Hey, you gonna kill that motherfucker?
Don't name the mouse. Don't get too attached.
See, man, look, gravity acts on each accordingly to its mass. And if you understand when you drop something, how it begins to accelerate, just as Equation was talking about, man, by the time that thing hits the ground, look, bro, if you drop a penny from the top of the Empire State Building, it will penetrate quite soundly concrete.
So much for my mouse theory. All right. Because a penny is smaller than a mouse.
Ain't no need to kill a mouse. I mean,
we got to do the experiments. But Kwame, this is the problem. This is the issue. We have to do the experiments. You know what I'm saying? Because
I'm down. That sounds like fun.
You know what I'm saying?
I want to start with a cow.
Damn, man. See, y'all starting to sound like them crazy ass white crazy ass serial murderer.
I mean, not just, but Kwame,
That's how they began, Hotel.
What? Just experiment? Wonder what would happen if we slit the throat. Does it really stop a motherfucker from living?
Our people are about reciprocity.
See, we need to prove that shit. I mean, just saying. What I'm saying is that's what.
Look. You can prove something by, like I said, in as much as a mouse is life. In another sense, if you take an inanimate object of the same mass as the mouse you plan on killing and drop that, you will see what the result is on that matter.
But then what about those people say the mouse has a special quality because it has a living soul in it? I mean, I'm just saying, I don't have to kill a goddamn mouse, but you do know that part of
all the experiments in the world ain't going to prove to you that mouse's soul is doing anything.
I don't know, man. I'm just saying.
Well,
you
know how they say.
Go ahead, because I could weigh the mouse. Hold on. I could weigh the mouse before I drop them off.
You know that experiment's been done 1,000,001 times and not to anybody's satisfaction.
Hold on, listen. We haven't done it. I mean, our young people haven't done it. You know what I'm saying? For example, what the fuck is oil? What is oil?
All right. Yeah, you know, that's a safe enough experiment, though, because as someone's lying in their death throes, you have them on one of those bed scales, and when you have concluded their soul has left their body, minus the excrement that, they passed, then you come to your conclusions. But of course, after repeated experiments, and the experiments are showing either showing what you thought it would show or disproving what you thought it would show. So, I mean, that's a safe enough experiment. But you ain't killing no mouse by throwing it from a damn 30,000 high plane.
I'm not gonna throw it. I'm just gonna drop it.
Dropping hell, at that point, dropping it or throwing it ain't gonna make much difference.
Well, I mean, if I want the experiment to be right, I have to drop it. If I throw the aggression and I increase the speed beforehand, I disqualify the whole experiment. So I have to just
now you're gonna make me try to dig into my physics bag. So the idea is this.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you're in a plane.
Right.
The initial velocity is 0, right?
Right.
Okay, now basically you want to know what the speed is going to be by the end of its fall. So the initial velocity is 0. So we don't even have to deal with that part of the equation. So the distance will, so if you ran it somewhere about 30,000 feet or so, you have an acceleration of, something like, I forget what it is, somewhere around 30, what is it in feet? 30-something per second. And then, of course, the amount of time, let me think here now. Going back to one of those little physics problems we used to have to do. Okay, so you have the distance. E equals v0 times t plus the acceleration times time squared. So you have the speed and the acceleration. The only thing that's left is the time. And let's figure out what speed will be by the end of that. y'all go ahead and talk.
He trying to figure it out. So now, all right, forget the mouse. If I dropped the chicken from 30,000 feet, would it fry from the amount of speed? Would it get hot and be edible after it hit the ground? I mean, just shit like that. No?
No.
It wouldn't heat up to it where it would be hot?
But that's a cultural norm, though. The cultural norm is that we don't eat things that we've not killed ourselves.
Well, we done broke that cultural norm and shit. I mean, shit, we break that all the time now. I'm just saying, would it be hot? Would it be done? Before it hit the ground, would the chicken be cooked? Because wouldn't it be a rise in temperature as you going that fast? I don't even want the
That's outside my knowledge base right now.
I'm just throwing shit out there. I mean, just experiments. And you know, just
that's a culinary question.
And we don't have to use live animals and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is that we need to go and develop a place where we have young people that are willing to ask questions so that they can explore, where they are able to come and do some stuff, because that's how white folks do it. I'm sorry. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because they got that original university system from us. Well, we would go and we would learn. And I'm quite sure there was some experiments going on in the mystery system, which was basically a university. You had access to other people's thoughts about things, and you was able to go further with your thoughts and not just do mental experiments, but actually be able to explore some of the concepts that you was talking about, or some of the concepts that you was looking into, so that you could go deeper and start building up. This is why I tell people in Giame, when you remember Giame, you owe the family a book. Now you motherfucker, you don't just get to walk around here and be like, oh, I did it. No. You gotta add to our library.
Question.
Go ahead.
Question.
I think he fell asleep.
Question.
He can hear you.
I'm here. I'm just making something to eat, so I'm going on mute so I don't be clanging pots around.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know approximately how long it takes you to when you did your air diving? How long it took you to get to the ground?
Less than 20 seconds.
Damn.
Well,
less than 20
no,
seconds.
that's not accurate, because once I pulled the chute, it was only about 10 seconds until I pulled the chute.
So 10 seconds.
Then once I pulled the chute, it was probably about 30 seconds.
Okay, so let's just say 30 seconds, just for GP. Now, keep in mind, Brother Hatem, the mouse don't have no chute.
We can design a chute for the mouse if that make you feel better. I can design.
Well, let me say something, though. This is something I was thinking. So, you know how when a baby is born, they have two fears, loud noises and falling? So when a baby starts to feel like they're falling, they sprawl their body out in a certain way to kind of distribute their weight, so that, I don't know, so they can land in a certain way, or if they have an instinct that's telling them that if they position their body a certain way,
the pressure, right? If they spread the
fall
pressure
slower.
Not well.
Well, I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess along the same line. So I'm thinking if a mouse is falling like that, then I would imagine that their body would automatically position itself so that it could catch the wind. So I do think it's plausible. I do actually think it's plausible that a mouse maybe...
I was just
it might feel
around.
flat. I don't know. I didn't mean for us to get into
this. I didn't really mean for us to get into this mouse discussion and shit. I just was fucking around, actually. We get a mouse, but we get a mouse to shoot.
Imagine that the mouse has fallen 20 seconds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what 20 squared is?
That's 400.
20 squared is
400, right? 400. No, 400. Right. Now multiply 400, and I'm just going to round off acceleration to 30. So what's 400 times 30?
120,000? Wait, you said 400 times 30?
Yeah.
That's 1,200.
No, 12,000.
No.
Approximately 12,000.
12,000. Okay.
So basically, at that point, the
I'm embarrassed because I should have got this shit.
acceleration times squared. That's going to be about this. So you got about 30,000 minus 30,000 minus approximately 12,000. So
that's 18,000.
If I'm not screwing stuff up, you're talking that mouse, by the time it hits the ground, will have been traveling somewhere around 18,000 feet per second.
But at a certain point, isn't there a maximum speed that that an object can gain from a free fall? It doesn't exponentially. The speed of free fall doesn't exponentially grow. There's a maximum speed that one can reach in a free fall, right?
Right.
Okay.
How you determine that? See,
that will.
It's physics. I mean, I didn't determine it. I heard it. So
no, I'm just saying. Clear. But now this is the point. This type of discussion we got to get with the kids. So just by me making a joke about dropping a mouse from the plane and Kwame jumping up to protect the goddamn mouse, and I have no understanding of why he wanted to defend the fuck me dropping a goddamn mouse, but in him doing that, we got into a discussion that is interesting enough to hold at least four people that I can see on our discussion right now as we talk about saving a goddamn mouse. Now we done did the math. We done had to do math and all this. This is called experimentation. This is called university type work where we get the kids. So now what happens when you drop a rock that weighs a certain amount? And Kwame, can you walk a motherfucker through the putting in the stuff and getting an understanding of what this letter mean and what this letter mean and how this letter came about to be and how this letter came about to be? Now I'm equipped to deal with this type of question. All right, now I don't need to drop a mouse because Brother Kwame has helped me walk through a mental experiment where I'm able to see that this mouse is going to be going far too fast for his ass to survive. And then Quasi threw in another piece, well, is there maximum acceleration? Now I got a question. Is there maximum acceleration because there's only so much height that you can have above the earth before this gravity have effect on you? Or is there a maximum that you can reach? Like, for example, if I was falling towards Jupiter, which means because Jupiter has more mass, that means that the gravity will be able to pull me from a higher point. Because there's a certain point outside of Earth where I'm just going to be floating, right?
Wait to spin from the other side of the sidewalk.
All the way there. Somebody else in the background.
That's the wife.
No, that's I just arrived at.
Oh shit! I gotta go. I'm supposed to be where Kwame at. God damn it! See, you got me talking about dropping mice out of planes and just fucked up my whole timetable.
Yeah, that was your work there.
God damn it! All right, family. This has been a toast and a talk. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I have to get out of here because I need to be over at Divine Conversations. We will be meeting over at APDS on...
What's up, Nubian? What's happening, Elder? You.
So we're going to be meeting over. I'm about to get up out of here. But it's been a pleasure. I want to thank Quasi. I want to thank Kwame for coming in. You know what I'm saying? They in there kicking it. You see, so I got to go.
All right. I'm out. I'm about to tighten up on my physics so next time I come, we can have some talk. Yeah, we can turn you into either ice. All right, one love, fam.
Peace. So, all right, family. I want to thank you for tuning in. Once again, shouts out to Quasi for an interesting topic because I don't know how we got on doing math and physics when he was talking about the doomsday clock, but that's how learning happens. You know what I'm saying? You learn something when you start asking questions. And family, as Yami Journey, and those of you that's part of us, never stop asking questions. And when you run into a motherfucker that tell you that you don't need to ask questions, you need to ask a question, why? Goddamn, why don't, you know what I'm saying? When we stop learning, we stop growing. When we stop growing, we die. Let's just say that. I'm always learning every day. This is the Congregation of Imani. I want to thank you for joining us on Yami Journey Media. Make sure you like and share. Of course, you know this has been a daily toast. Well, once again, we have done another one, and I think we are on 1,218 shows just on the Yami Journey platform. And this is a Heart of a Simple production. Hold on, question. Don't go nowhere yet. Well, we strive to blow up your old paradigms. So before we get out of here, what I want to do is I want to give Quincy a minute to give his closing comments. Since he opened up the conversation, go ahead, Quincy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that regardless of what's going on, we got to talking about all the stuff going on in the world. No matter what, it's time for us to start learning our own thing, start learning how to plant, reconnect with the soil. Because, I mean, I don't know how many people are biblical with it, but the Bible says 400 years of captivity, and we at 400 years, it's up. And it happens to be the age of Aquarius. It's just starting. There's so many coincidences that kind of will point in the direction of us, historically enslaved or subjugated people. It would seem to be our time. That's kind of what everything is pointing at. So if that's the case, it's not going to be easy. So we're going to have to turn back to the things that we did historically that got us where we at. And one of those things, Tim, I need to actually go ahead and put in an official order. I know I kind of asked for it, just kind of in passing. But I would officially want to order a gallon of ambrosia. I want ambrosia. I need it.
All right.
Put it down, a gallon.
All right, so I will start fermenting in the next couple of days. I need to wait till after this pay period.
Can it be ginger? I want ginger.
I work that out. Because I got a lot of people wanting ginger during this time of the year anyway. So I'll do a separate amount of the ginger and get it. And then also, if you want to learn to ferment or brew, I can show you how to do either one. Hopefully, I will be able to do it because it's cold right now, and my scobies are kind of protected. I just lost. I'm still looking at 3 5-gallon buckets. I got about 300. Let's just say about 300 scobies that bit the dust, and I'm so sad. But they're gonna make some good ass fertilizer. I'm just saying that about these tomatoes that's about to come up out this. When we do this garden, if we still living here, these tomatoes that's about to come up out this motherfucker is going to be amazing. Just letting y'all know.
Well, I don't know what a SCOBY is, but it sounds tragic. My heart goes out to the SCOBY.
No. So when you doing the ambrosia or the June or kombucha, there's a living organism. It's called a SCOBY, a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. Right? It's like a skin. It has a skin consistency, and what it does is that when you put the source of the sugar in there, whether it's honey or whatever, it closes off by sealing over the top the product or the tea, and it starts consuming the sugar and the caffeine, and it seals it off so that nothing else outside of it can get in, and it totally transforms. So this is, dude, I mean, this is nation building in action. You watch this, you when you see this shit, this is some real nation building, and this is what I'm talking about, teaching people how to do, because it's a natural process. We discovered, we found this shit. We discovered this shit, and it relies on us, and we rely on it. And what you need from it, the nutrients that you need from it in order to keep producing it, it provides that shit. Period. Because it wants to live. You know what I'm saying? And It needs you to be healthy in order for you to live. So it's a symbiotic relationship. You need from it, it needs from you. It needs honey from you. You need the product that it produces from it. So y'all got this little symbiotic thing going on where y'all helping each other, right? And, you know, so, but you got me off on that shit. All right, I got you. I will have an order for you. And then if you want to learn how to brew, if I got some scobies left, and even if I don't got scobies left, I know how to start over. So it ain't no issue. You know, shit, ain't nothing. Small beans to a Giami giant, goddammit. All right, family, this is Brother Hot Tim, and I'm out on my way over here, and I'm going to be wearing the same shit I had on yesterday, so I don't want to hear no goddamn jokes. And I didn't get my hair cut because my barber was too goddamn busy. So, this is Brother Hot Tim. I'm out. Y'all have a great day. Peace.
Peace.